Hi, welcome to another video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. Okay, so um, been about a week since I've done a video, and a lot has taken place. A lot has went on, and so first I like to start with something that was deeply, deeply troubling. Despite of the target and the psychological harassment, this was unexcusable what they've done. So let me recap. So last week, um, I started noticing that we were getting bites on our body, particularly our arms and our face. And we kind of, we meaning my kids and we kind of thought it was mosquitoes at first. But then last Wednesday, I started looking at my son's arm and around his elbow, and he had numerous bites. Okay, and this was I believe last Wednesday when I started noticing how many bites he had on his arm, on both of his arms. And so, I'm like, okay. So the next day, Thursday, I looked at his arm again, and he had a lot more bites. And I was like, no, this is not mosquito. This is not mosquito at all. This looks like bed bug bites to me, right? Now, mind you, I have never had a problem with bed bugs. Okay, I try to keep my bedroom clean, and because I'm always cleaning. So how did I get bed bugs? Well, I mentioned that to my sister, whom I live with, and she said to me, "Yeah, her daughter had said that she saw bed bugs in her bed." And so she said, "Yeah, I went out and I bought the spray to kill them." And I'm thinking, wait a minute. So y'all had bed bugs, and yet y'all didn't tell me. I mean, I can understand that coming from strangers, but from family members, that you're not going to say, "Hey, Nigel, we found bed bugs, so look out for them," or take the necessary precautions, right? So I'm like, man, you know, family members, wow, and I'm talking about close family members, sisters, nephews, nieces, not cousins, not third cousins, fourth cousins, but family, immediate family. So anyway, and it's because when I'm not there, because you guys know, during the school year, I'm over by Pam because the kids' schools are close by, and on top of that, we go home on my weekend that I have them, right, on my weekend. So I had to go buy a mattress protector, and I have a mattress protector on it on my bed, but this was one that encases the mattress. So I bought that, and I started spraying my room, and I stayed up. I haven't slept for like 4 days. Okay, I have not slept, and it's because I've been up at night, looking for them, and I've killed quite a few of them. And I think the numbers, nothing, but I know that the numbers that I see have been dwindled, immensely. And so it's at a point now where I had to do a third uh, spray, I should say, because I bought I have the bed bug spray, the ones that the foam one, the spray bombs, that's what they call them. So, I had to do that to my room 3 times, and because last night I stayed up again. The kids wasn't with me because the kids over at here at Pam's for the past few days, while I tried to get rid of the issue or the problem, and I'm making a lot of progress. Because last night I think I've killed 6, and it was spread out in this time of I would say hour and a half to 2 hours. I would wake up, look on my bed, see if there's any, and I would see one. I think at one time I saw 2 on the side of the bed. It wasn't on the bed; it was on the side of the bed, and then 2 more on the bed, and then one this morning, like around 6. I woke up and it had just finished feeding on me because it was moving very slow. It was fat, It was, I mean, it was small, but you could tell it drank a good amount of blood because it looked a little swollen. Kill that one, and then I woke up around 9. Lift up my mattress, put it to the side because I was gonna smoke bomb the room again, and I found one more, and I killed that one. So compared to where I was from last Wednesday, I would say the number have decreased. It's been about a week, all right, and so hopefully this uh, this time the problem will be eradicated. Of course, now we have to do the rest of the house, and but my kids is not coming back until that problem has been completely eradicated. And so I'm gonna steam clean my carpet again when I get home later on, and I'm gonna steam clean the carpet. Um, I have to wash because I have clothes that's tied up in plastic bags, so I'm gonna wash those and dry them on very high heat. And so that's what I can do. But they put those bed bugs in my bed. Okay. Last night when I went home, I went to turn on my remote, and I noticed that my remote wasn't working. So I'm saying, okay, maybe the battery, you know, died. So I opened up the back of the remote, and I saw that there was one of the batteries, because it's two, one of the batteries was missing. So I went to my sister, I asked my niece if any of them removed the battery out of my remote, and they said no. So I said, well, okay, it has to be my nephew then, you know? And so my sister, all of a sudden, now she wants to blame it on my daughter, okay, Alyssa, who is 5 years old. Believe me, she does not know how to go take the remote control, open up the battery case, and take the battery out. And I said to her before I left with the kids, I myself had turned off the TV, and my kids were nowhere near the television. Okay, as a matter of fact, they were waiting on me in the hallway because when I left that day, the last time that last week when they were with me and I left, which was Sunday, to come over by Pam. Okay, I turned off the TV myself. The kids was never in my bedroom, and I set off one of the bed bug smoke bombs. And so I knew I had the battery in the remote. Okay, but again, this is their way of telling you that they've been into, telling me that they've been into my room and they've taken my stuff. So they'll do something that's very obvious to get me to notice those things, So whether it be taking one of the batteries out of the remote or moving stuff around, okay, or stealing my medication, okay, they do stuff like that just to let you know that they've entered into your home, into your bedroom, that they were there. So I have no doubt in my mind that these bed bugs were strategically placed there because I was trying to get my son into the STEM program, and for 2 whole weeks, okay, there were kids that never showed up, and they never called any of the parents that was on the waiting list. And mind you, I was there every week asking them, hey, uh, any kids show up? And they were like, yeah, there was a few kids that didn't show up. but we had to wait on the parents to decide whether they're going to send their kids or not. And I'm like, yeah, but a week has passed. The kids has missed 7 days of schooling of the STEM program because the first time it started, it was like coming to the end of the week, and the kids were in school Thursday and Friday, and then the next week from Monday to Thursday because there's no school on Friday. So these kids never showed up, right? So when that week and 2 days passed, they should have been like, okay, these kids are not showing up. Cross out their name, put other kids who are on waiting list in there. And like I said, we've been at the school every single week asking about, whether there was room or space available because kids didn't show up. Okay, so finally this week, Monday, after again Ethan has gotten bit up by the bed bugs and it was pretty bad. His neck. I took him to the doctor on Saturday, and I told the doctor what I was doing to rectify the problem and eradicate the issue, the bed bugs. And so Monday now, I went in with him and I asked him. I said, "Hey, is there any kids, whatever?" So they took his name down. They're like, of course they know him because because we've been every single week. We've been in there, and so they finally let him into the program. Okay, went to pick him up afterwards, and I said, "How was your day, goes?" And he was like, "Well, my teacher asked me why my arm was red, and I told her it was bed bug." Okay, now, saying that to a teacher in a school, they're kind of, I guess, obligated to call the health department. I'm not quite sure. I gotta look that up. I gotta look that up. But I figured that the only reason why he got in there, and again because they planted the bed bugs, and they wanted a reason, okay, because they'll try to take away your children if you're a TI, because they want to use the psychological approach, or I'll use psychiatry as to discredit you, to take away your kids and stuff like that. And they've done this before, and this is where I always talk about this here, psychological warfare and manipulation, because this is what's going on, okay? And they've doing this to thousands of people, okay? And I say thousands, okay? And because psychological warfare using psychiatry has been something that is not new. It is not a new phenomenon, and it usually involves discrediting the target or having them declared mentally ill, right? And it says these tactics and technologies are usually used by powerful organizations. So we're talking about the CIA, the FBI, state and local police, whereas they will try to get you hospitalized and medicate you, again because they want to discredit you, they want to shut you up. Okay, so this is not a new phenomenon. Okay, so let's go on to the video. Let's see here. Okay, no, I had to turn the webcam on because again, whenever I start doing videos, my body started itching all of a sudden. My ears, my face, it all just started itching. So that's the reason why you'll see me turn off the webcam. Okay, so but I'm gonna turn it off now because I want to show the entirety of this video. So this is Friday. I went to pick up my daughter. Was it Friday? No, I'm sorry, Thursday. I went to pick up my daughter. This was the 18th. Let's see here. Okay, so the 18th was Wednesday. All right. So the 18th was a Wednesday. So this is on Wednesday. I went to pick up my daughter, and she wanted McDonald's. So I said, okay, let's go to McDonald's. All right. So I pull up into the McDonald's drive-through.
Okay,
so and again,
just pulled into the McDonald's drive-through, and again, the vehicle with the particular number in it.
You guys know what I'm talking about, that number 32. There it is.
Alright.
Okay, so let me read the video because I want to speak about what's going on here. And so we pulled up, And here we go, that number 32 again. So let's go. Alright. So now it's my turn to order. Alright. So I'm ordering. Now here comes the perp. Now you'll see her standing there, right? So this is where she is. Okay. Alright. I had just completed my order. Okay. Oh, I was ordered. And now here she comes. Okay, and then she's going to stand up right there, right in my field of view. She looks at me, and she keeps walking. Okay, so I've completed my order. Okay, and there she goes again. Stands up, looking at her phone. Okay, let's fast forward this. I'm paying for my meal, and yeah, I'm going to pick up my meal now. And you notice that when I pulled up, she started walking. Right? So let's see. So she was standing there. And she sees me coming out. She starts walking. Again, using homeless theme. And you hear me say, "Here's the street theater," right? Because I recognize it. Okay.
Now you see the girl standing across the street?
This girl crawling across here, staring at me. She starts playing with her hair.
Thank you. Your chocolate milk. She said hi to you? Okay, let me see which one is this one. This is, that's Ethan.
Okay. So again, the girl, she's over there, she's standing there. Alright. Now they knew I was going to Western Beef because I had mentioned that I was going to go to Western Beef. So of course she's going to be there. She's playing with her hair. You know, I think at one point she pinched her nose. Yeah. So yeah, she did. So here we go, right here. Right, this is her pinching her nose as I'm going across. Okay. Okay, so went to Western Beef, got a couple of stuff, and now I'm at the checkout line. Okay. Now I noticed that as I went to the checkup line, everybody started crowding, right? You can see here. Let me go back here, as you'll see.
4 hours and 8
See what she did? Let's go back at it again.
4 hours and 8
See that? Hope you guys see that. That's
4 hours and 8
now that give me a slight look. Then
the magic on it.
this is what they do to targets when you're on the checkout line. Whether it's in groceries or wherever, doesn't matter. So the minute I got on the checkout line, everyone stopped crowding. People started coming out of the office. She came out of the office. The other guy over here came out of the office all at the same time. Now you have this woman walk in across, and again, you'll see her. Okay, so she's looking at me. At me, and she doesn't. Okay, so now they all gonna start crowding. See how he just walked over there so fast? This is all street there. Now she walks back. Now he pinches his nose as she walks back.
How much?
Now, I heard what she said the first time, but I had to make her repeat it. Okay? So, out of all the stuff that I bought at the store, again, pulling to me down the license plate of the car in front of me, or the SUV in front of me, the number 32. Went to the McDonald's, didn't catch that number on my bill. Western Beef. Bought some stuff. I just picked up some stuff random. Stuff that I feel that I might have needed. Okay? And see, there she go. Right? See that? Now, this woman here, she's been there the whole time, looking in her bag, digging in her bag. Now she could have, she was in the office. She could do all that in the office. But the minute that I came into the checkout line, she came out, the manager came out, the other guy came out. The woman that walked across, they all, all of the street there, all street there. Okay. Now she turns around, puts her hands in her pocket, and starts walking. She goes back to digging in her bag. To make it look like she's looking for something.
Thank you.
She's not looking for anything. She's all hands sitting on.
Come on, Alyssa. Come on. Come on.
Watch that walk past. See? Shut me up. Not gonna happen. Now the security guy, all of a sudden now this guy comes here and security guy is active now, right? So how they try to use this, it's a matter of national security or public safety. It's all bullshit. That's what it is. It's all bullshit. It's to get these imbeciles, and I will say imbeciles, out there to participate in these things, okay? Because they don't have the intelligence nor the rationale to see beyond what they're being told and the instructions that they're given. And they really think because they have the authorities giving them permission to do this stuff that they somehow, nothing will happen to them. So they act in the manner in which they act, right? And that's why I call them imbeciles. Because yeah, I'm sorry. I don't normally, try to degrade people, but at this point, even when you try to tell them what's really happening, they don't want to listen. They just ignore you. So,
Come on, Lisa. Come on.
Now you see how they were standing there, and the minute that I got off of the pavement here, then they started to come towards me as if they wanted to,
come on, Lisa.
Stop me from going to the parking lot.
Come on, Lisa.
And this is what they do. Right? Alright, so now I'm in the car, and I'm pulling out of the parking space of Western Beach. And again, you'll see the stage. You see as I drive out, he looks at his phone. You see he did this guy here. Watch again, okay? Look at this. See him? That's this. Now he starts looking at his phone. He's looking at me. Okay? Now he walks off. Followed by the red theme. And you're going to see how they do this. How they use the red theme after a lot of the targeting. Now, what they've been doing also is that they've been very slick in trying to hide themselves, some of the perps, from me recording them. Like whenever I pull into a parking space, they will come up on the side, standing on the sidewalk right beside the car, doing hand signals. Now the minute I take the phone off the cameraman, pointed towards them, they walk away. Alright, so at this point they know that I'm recording. And there was a police car that was coming down, was getting ready to come into this section, this turning lane right here, but I guess they got word that I was recording, and it ended up going back into the other lane. Let me fast forward it. Here it is. So here is the police car. Okay. Right here. Alright, let's fast forward here. And this is from last Wednesday, so I can't remember every single thing that happened. There's another police car. Now mind you, this is Empire Boulevard in Brooklyn. The 71st precinct is on Empire Boulevard. That's the majority of the police vehicles or the police officers that try to harass and intimidate me belong to this precinct, as well as another precinct that's on Utica Avenue, and I believe it's St. box, one of those. But those two particular precincts were never at my home. I know by Pam, it's the 70F. That's on Rogers. Is it Rogers? Yeah, I think it's Rogers and Schneider. Okay. Now I'm watching these individuals here. Again, red shirt. I see this kid, like a kid, touching his nose, and then I don't know whether he was looking at the palm of his hand or what have you. When you see him now, he's looking at the street light. First precinct, Empire, New York. Like I said, when I'm at home in my area, which is Crown Heights, this is the precinct where the majority of the police officers tried to harass and intimidate me. This is where they belong. This is where they're from. Okay? Alright, so let's fast forward. Now you see the Jewish guy. Okay, that's too far. The Hasidic Jewish guy. You see him standing out there. See him right there? He's standing there. And as soon as I drove up, he turns his back. Okay, let's go. So there he is. And then he turns his back. Now he was standing there, as you'll see. Let's do it again. He is right there. You can see his white shirt, right, as he's facing towards the direction that I'm, the opposite direction of where I'm going. So he's facing towards me. And as soon as I start to drive by it, he turns around and turns his back against me. Again, you see another. I use the Hasidic Jews a lot too. So let's go. So he turns his back, and you'll see another Hasidic Jewish lady as I approach the intersection. Her hands behind her back with her palm. See that? Her palm facing towards me. But again, this is how they mask it to make it look as if she's actually scratching her back, but she's not. I've shown this already. This is what they do. This is the tactic that they do. Okay. Well, they will walk in front of me if I'm driving, what have you, and they will have their hands behind their back with their palm facing outwards towards me. Okay, now look. Look how she steps out. She's looking at me. Okay, watch. So after all of this, okay. Now watch her. Okay? Staring directly at me. And these are all subliminal messages. This is a combination of subliminal messages that I'm trying to show here. Okay? So there she is. Try to zoom in a bit so you guys can see her. Okay? Now she's looking directly at me. Right? Then she's gonna go back on the side. Alright, then she see her with the phone, kinda like swing the phone towards me. Okay, basically saying that they have tapped my cell phone and that there's nothing I can do, and they're going to use it to continue to harass and to spread whatever rumors they're spreading on me. Okay. I'm on my block, and so again that was the Wednesday, last week Wednesday. Okay. All right. So that was the Wednesday. I think I didn't do any recording on the Thursday, which would be the 23rd, and so now let's move on to the 21st.
Look at the preps already. Early morning, 9 o'clock, taking a consideration.
This was Saturday. Okay, this was Saturday. I was taking the kids to the doctor. This is around 9 in the morning. Actually, before 9, because I got there by 9 o'clock. So this is about, I would say, maybe around 8:30 something. All right. So he sees me. He sits down, because that's when I started recording. Because when I saw him come to the corner, stand there with his phone, I was looking at it. That's when I started the recording. And then again, here's the
Look at the preps already. Early morning, 9 o'clock, taking a to the doctor. He at the corner there. Okay. Over there, looking at his phone.
Alright. As I drive past him, look in my rearview mirror. He turns
I drive past
in the opposite direction.
Past him, he turns around and walk away.
Okay. So, again, this is going to the doctor. Let's see what else, if I can't remember. Okay, so remember the guy in the red shirt went into the car, opened the car door with the perp in the corner? So now the red theme is at play here. So now here he is again. Okay? You see what he did with his hands? As he walked past? Covers his mouth, right? Basically, as he walks past, he goes, or I can't remember if it was his mouth or the side of his face that he put his hands on. Okay. Alright, so now that, again, with the bed bug situation, now they're gonna use images, signs about mattresses, because they want me to buy a new mattress now. And so this is one incident. There was another incident where there was another bus again with another mattress sign. Okay. Alright, so here we are. We're at the doctor's office, and the car in front, the number 32 in the license plate. Okay? See it better here. It's kind of hard to see it, but yeah, this car in front here, license plate number 32 in the license plate. So now going to the doctor's office and sign the kid's name in, and we came outside to sit down. Okay, and I began to notice this
homeless guy
was walking back and forth. And like I said, it just seems too irregular, because he did it more than once, more than twice. And he was actually over on this side here, okay, walking back and forth this way. But the minute that I got the parking space, went in, put the kid's name down on the sign-in sheet, came outside, we all came outside to sit down, then he starts walking up and down. So I started recording.
Walking down there.
Okay, and he had stood up right in. He didn't show it, but he stood up right in front here, looking at me, and that's the reason why I started recording too, because he just stood right here looking at me, and when I took the phone up and started recording,
there you go, the
then
purple
he
bag.
walks
Forcing them
off.
to run the home
Came back.
He
Never came back.
Back and forth,
Okay.
back and forth, back and forth. At the doctor's office, taking the kids.
And to tell you how deliberate.
Their pediatrician.
This is.
And the minute I came on the block, and we came.
Yeah. Right. So this is last night, and last night was just Tuesday. So this is the 24th, and I had went outside to purchase a lotto ticket. It was the Mega Million. I think the drawing was like $512 million. So I said, okay, let me go purchase a lotto ticket. It was because I was over at Pam, as you can see, and she had to go to work. She went to work, and she said she had a doctor's appointment after. And I'm like, okay. I said, all right, because I'm going home tonight, so make sure I come home. So I waited. I called her. She had no, she called me, told me that she finished her doctor's appointment, and then she was going to walk over to a friend of hers, his job, and they're going to take the train together. Her friend Joe. Okay, now Joe is a person who they're using to execute what is called the boyfriend destroyer campaign. So what it is, this is somebody from her past that she knew when she was living in another area. All of a sudden, he contacts her, and mind you, this guy has a fiance. He contacts her. All of a sudden, they're like talking every single day, meeting up for lunch, for dinner, what have you. And I don't mind that. That's her friend. But yesterday, when she called me, she was like, okay, they're going to take the train together. I'm like, all right, fine. And then I had called her back because I wanted to ask her a question about something that she had in the fridge, and I wanted to know what she wanted to do with it. So she tells me that, me and Joe were going to go out to dinner, and I'm saying to myself, okay, but didn't I tell you that I wanted to leave because the issue that I have at home with the bed bugs, that I need to go and make sure that the problem has been resolved. Okay, now I was thinking and hoping she would get home by 7 or 8. That way I can get home at a decent time. I can get like 3 hours sleeps, with the lights on till 11 o'clock. And then I can wake up, turn off the lights, and then look for these little critters. Because they only come out when it's dark, right? So I have a flashlight as I'm sleeping. I wake up every half an hour to an hour, look on my bed, see if I see them, and then I kill them. Okay? So, knowing all of that, she decides that all of a sudden, oh, okay, me and Joe are going to go out to dinner now. Now, mind you, she has said to me prior that her and Joe had made plans to go to dinner on Thursday. So now all of a sudden now she's walking over to her friend Joe's job. They're going out to dinner. Okay, again. But this is what they call the boyfriend destroyer. Now, like I said, the last time, me and her, we got into a big argument, so we were like, I was basically like, you know what, I'm done, what have you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still there for the kids. So, as I was talking to her, as I was going to ask the question, I could hear Joe in the background, and he's coughing. Alright? And again, it seems so fake, and that's what they do. They do these fake cough in front of TIs. Whenever they walk by, they like coughing, what have you. So, anyway, it was, a little after 9, going on 9:30, and I was like, shoot, I gotta go to the store. So there's a 7-Eleven right around the corner. So I told the kids, I said, hey, I'm coming right back. Went to the store. Went to the 7-Eleven. Okay. There was a young lady in front, and there's a young lady as a cashier, and a guy as a cashier. Went to the lotto section, asked for the lotto ticket. Then the cashier starts talking about, isn't it a good day to be alive? She was talking to the girl customer, to the woman, the young lady customer. And then she goes, yeah, my brother died last year. He got shot 18 times. And I'm like, okay, so again, this is how they send you subliminal threats of being killed and stuff like that, right? And then the conversation just end like that. The female customer and the female cashier who said what she said, the communication ceased. That was it. Okay? So she finally came over to me, and I asked her, can I get a lotto ticket? And she's like, oh, the machine's not working. Okay? So, again, they don't want me to buy any type of lotto ticket. Because, if you're a TI and you do win the lotto, that means that they can try to manipulate you using money. If you're on disability, they can try to constantly send you subliminal messages about taking away your disability, because that is your only means of financial support, right? So that's why whenever I play the lottery, they always send me subliminal threats, using the police or doing stuff like they did to, like, with this young woman, saying what she said, So anyway, so I had to walk up to another store to further up about a block away. They're a very short block, and I went in there. And as soon as I went in there, everyone started looking up at the security monitor. Right, so there's a security monitor right in front of the counter. Right, so they all started looking up at that. So I didn't look because I know what they were trying to do. So I got my ticket, and as I'm walking, as I got to the intersection, I saw this dude standing across the street, and he's like staring at me. He's fixated on me, and then he's like trying to, then he's trying to do hand signals. He's doing this to me and stuff. And so I took out my phone as I was walking across the street and started recording. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he starts walking off.
Don't turn around now. I said, don't turn around and walk away now. You were standing there looking at me. What are you looking at? Huh? I said, don't, okay, yeah. I know you know.
I know you.
Thank you.
I want to go to the bank.
Now he's talking about, he wants to go to the bank, right? So you hear what he says.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know you know it's me. Thank you.
I know you. And I said, yeah, I know you know it's me. Then he goes, I want to go to the bank. Because you see, again, the time is coming up to where I get my direct deposit for my disability, and they will always do stuff like this. Always try to send me subliminal messages about my disability, about taking away my disability, and this is the type of stuff that they do, okay? This is the street theater that they perform. And I had stopped recording at this point as I walked past him, but then I saw the other street theater of this young woman standing again at the other corner, and I started recording her. And when I started recording her, she walked away. So she was basically standing right here, okay? And I had just put my phone down after recording that guy. And the minute I put my phone up to start recording her, she starts walking towards me. Okay? Alright? And then she's going to go into this a hair salon right there, and that way she's going to go. Okay? So this is the kind of things that they do. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not putting my camera down. So again, you're going to see this one here with the hand signal. You'll see here. Okay? And she's eating an apple. Now, it didn't dawn on me how they were using the apple as a tool to trigger me, but it doesn't. Because during that day, today, I've seen numerous people as I was going and taking the kids to school. Numerous people eating apples. I guess that's a thing that they're going to use now. Now you hear the police? You hear the police? Okay. Now they was going in the direction that I was going in, because that's where I hear the noise. And then they turn on the sirens. How many times I've described that sound, that particular sound? Whoop, 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 whoop. How many times have I described it? You guys can go back and look at my videos from years ago. that? And again, that's a sign that I'm being conditioned to. I was sleeping at night, I would wake up, I would hear boom. Now, this is how they, remember, they condition you. Repetition. Every single night, early on in my targeting, wake up in the middle of the night to that sound. Okay? And again, this is them letting me know that they're the ones that do it. Okay? Alright, so I went upstairs and, basically discussing with Pam what happened. I said to her, listen, you know that I had to go home, but yet you decide that you're going to just go and have dinner with your friend without speaking to me about it, right? The fact that when I call you, you're telling me, oh, I'm going to go to dinner with Joe, that's not speaking to me about it. That's basically saying, F you, I'm going to do what I want to do, regardless of what you have to do. Knowing that I told her what it is that I have to do, and she just totally pushed it to the side and ignore it, okay? So let me see if I can play the conversation that we have, because let me tell you something. And the reason why I record this is because I know what was going to happen, okay? I know that she's going to make every excuse and she's going to target me. And of course, she started targeting me because, of course, over the weekend she went and did her nails, and she did it in a dark navy blue. So now, when I'm talking to her last night, she keeps flashing her nails in my face, right? And so, let me see if I can play the recording. You guys can hear it. Now I'm walking into the apartment. And that's my kids.
Alright, Ethan.
You tell me about very gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna go on any trip? Yeah. I'm going on a trip too.
Pamela, listen, we have to talk, okay? Because you know I have to go home tonight, right?
Yes, I got
but no. Look what time. But but look what time it is. It's going on 10 o'clock. You could at least, but Pamela, regardless of whatever, I never gave you a time. You should have been courteous enough to call me. And no, you did not. I called you and say, hey Nigel, I'm going out to eat with Joe. Have you? No, you didn't. I called you, Pamela. I called you to ask you. Yes, I did, because I called you to ask you about the ground turkey that was there.
I didn't answer you.
No, I called you about the ground turkey. You never called me. I called you 3 times. I called you twice, you didn't pick up, and I called you again to ask you about the ground turkey.
No,
Pamela, no, you did not. That was when I said to you what I'm going to do with the ground turkey, and then you tell me you're going to do it. You got to be more courteous than that. At least have some respect to say, hey Nigel, you know what? Joe and I were what? Because you told me about tomorrow, but you made plans with Joe or Ethan, right? You didn't talk. Okay, but then again, that's the decision that you made, right? And
let me finish. When I told you I was going to go meet Joe, right? I told you I called.
No, you didn't. No, you did not.
Yes,
No, you did not. No, you didn't. What? Yo, you called me. You called me to say that you. No, you said.
I said I don't want to Joe's job, and I got.
Say that you were in your work in
and I said
area, right?
And I said.
And then after you said, okay,
I'm going to go meet Joe, and I'm walking in the area. And when I got a hold of you, I said I'm almost to Joe's job.
Right.
And I will call you back.
Right. And you never called me back.
Nigel, we were walking to the train station, and Joe was like, "Hey, I'm really hungry. Are you hungry?" I was like, "Yeah."
Okay, but
all right. So again, right now she knows that I have to get home. Okay. But because her friend said, hey, I'm hungry, look, get something to eat, she's like, okay. When she should have said, you know what, Joe, we have plans on Thursday, let's stick to that. Nigel has to get home because there's an issue that he has to deal with. Instead of her saying that, it's like, you know what, fuck Nigel, whatever. And again, from my experience, if you're a TI, you're in a relationship, they will bring other people into your significant other's life to basically manipulate them to turn against you. Okay? And like I said, mind you, this individual has a fiance. Okay? Now, if I was to do that to her, if I was to have a female friend that I'm like, okay, hey, I talk to her about everything. I don't talk to her about nothing that's going on in my life. I don't talk to my significant other about the stuff that's bothering me, stuff that's going on in my life. And I talk to this particular female, right? She would be highly upset. She would be irate. As a matter of fact, she would have been like, you know what, you can go be that person, I'm done with you. That's it. Okay? So again, her trying to justify what she did, Okay, by saying Joe said this, doesn't make a difference. The point is that you know better. It should have been up to you. You should have said no. We have plans on Thursday. Naja got to get him because she know that I've been up for the past 4 nights, not getting any sleep, and she know that last night I was going to be up again all night trying to see if I had eradicated the issue, the problem. Okay, but this is what she chose to do.
You should have been. This is what I would do. I've been like, listen, you know what? I got Pam home. She gotta go somewhere. I gotta go. Okay, or at least let me call and see if it's okay. You never even done that. I had to call you.
Let me finish.
Come on,
you did call me, but I was gonna call you.
Come on.
Because when we made a decision to eat, we
Come on.
set it up. When we grabbed
at 7 something, right? At 7 something. Right? That's when I called you, right? That's when I called you, right?
It was only like 10
It was actually 6:45, and she stuck on. Oh, it was only 10 minutes. It was only 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if it was a minute, 10 minutes, or not. You did not eat for 10 minutes. I mean, any fool knows that, okay? Because you have to get to the restaurant. You have to sit down. The waitress got to come to you. You got to order your food. They got to prepare your food, and then you leave. And then you eat, and then you leave. Okay, so it's not just 10 minutes. So she's full of crap right there. But again, this is the insanity that she's trying to tell me. Okay? And because I'm a TI, she thinks that I'm going to be silent and shut up about it because they have her believing that when she do things like that, okay, I'm not going to do anything because they have control over me, right? Because whatever they're using to dangle over these people's head, or they trying to dangle over my head, okay, that somehow I'm going to be like, okay, whatever, yes. And just take, their bullshit. It's not happening. It's not happening.
I'm not wrong on this. I'm not wrong on this. Okay? What I'm saying to you is this, Pamela. What I'm saying to you is this. Regardless of what, I have to go home somewhere, right? On top of that, I have to be up all night tonight, again, because of the bedbug situation, again. I have to be up all night, right? That's what I have to do. Now, don't look at me like, because...
And then she's looking at me and she rolled her eyes.
But what I'm saying is that, this is the kind of the stuff that you do that then when I talk about it, it's like I'm stressing you out. And it's like, for the life of me, I just don't understand why is it that but again...
I just need to talk to him. I need to talk to someone.
So here she go. I need to talk to her. But yeah, she wouldn't talk to me, right? And she likes to bring up about the lack of communication in our relationship. Now you see how I came in the door and I said to her, Pamela, we need to talk. This is what I do. I communicate with her. Her, on the other hand, don't communicate with me. She would rather go to her friend, Joe, who have magically popped up in her life over a year ago, right? All of a sudden, they're going over the place, going to eat, this and that. They're having all these late night conversations. And when I walk into the bedroom, she's like, oh, I got to go by. Okay, now come on. Like, you think I'm a fool? I mean, regardless of if there's nothing going on or not. It may not be physical cheating, but you were emotional and you're cheating mentally. Okay? Because if you can't come to me to talk to me about certain things, but you're going to talk to your friend. Okay? Like, for example, she has, she's going through hair loss, and she's talking about, she's stressed, so she's blaming me for her being stressed out. Not mind the fact that, for one, she goes to bed late, right, and have to get up early to go to work. She's constantly tired, okay, and that's not me, okay, because not to say like we're intimate often, because we're not. Maybe, sometimes we used to be intimate twice a week, okay, 4 times for the month, and that would be, the most. The least would be once every 2 months. Okay? So it's not I'm stressing out over sex and all that, because I don't do that. Okay? But she don't want to see, or she's incapable of seeing the things that she's doing to stress herself out. So you know what? She blames it on me because, again, when you're dealing with a passive-aggressive, narcissistic personality, they'll never see what they do is wrong. Okay, it's always the other person. Okay, so this is the conversation that I have to go. I'm not going to play all of it, but she talked about how she apologized to me. I listened to the tape in its entirety. She hasn't apologized to me. When we were arguing, I was about to leave. She says, "Well, I apologized to you." I said, "No, you didn't apologize." So she's like, "Yes, I did." And because you was talking so loud, you was talking over me. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, right." Okay, that's hence the reason why I recorded, because I want to make sure that when she come up with the lie, I can be able to say, "Boom, here you go." Okay? So, anyway, after we finished arguing, I left. Okay? to the car.
Okay, on the street there.
Sat in the car for like 5 minutes, warming up, and I saw this car in front, and he was just sitting there. Okay, sitting there. The minute I pull out of the parking space and start driving, he pulled. He was double parked. He started driving. Okay.
So this cab here was waiting for me on the block when I
a taxi cab. Okay. So okay, here we go. So because the window was a little dirty, so it was the camera's having a hard time focusing. But there you go. That number 32. Here's the number repeating itself. 3232. Okay. All right. Now this is what they do now. So after every time me and her have an argument because of stuff like this, because this is the stuff that they orchestrated, right? As I go home, I will see a heavy police presence along my way of going home. Okay, and this is what's happening. So you see the lights blinking right here. This is a fire truck that's going across on the block, the next block up. Okay, so that was the fire truck, right? Is another fire truck passed by? Let me see. Let me make sure that wasn't a fire truck because I can't remember. Okay, so I'm turning. So one fire truck had already gone by on the block ahead, which you saw the flashing lights. And here goes. Was this a bus? Okay, that's not a fire truck. It's a bus. It looks like a bus. Okay, look like a fire truck. Okay, now here's the police again. So there were stationed police vehicles along the path, and this is like again, every time we get into a heated argument, this is what they do every single time. Now, remind you, I'm not a threat to no female. Okay, I don't hit female. I don't abuse female. I should say female, but women. I don't hit women. I don't abuse women in any way. But this is the false narrative that they put out there, right? So now, whenever we're having an argument, they can justify and say, well, we need a heavy police presence around there to let him know that if he's thinking of anything to harm Pam or have you, we're watching him. And which is, like I said, you can look. I have never abused any women at all. Never. Okay. And they'll falsify this shit. So here goes the red theme. All right. So you see, as I was driving, you'll see him stick his hands in his ears. So here he comes. No, actually, he just touched his nose. That's what he did. He touched his nose.
I'm out. Except she didn't say anything and she went. You know what I'm saying? It's like I tell her, I said, when you
that was just me talking, so I was just ranting. There was a police vehicle around here that was going down one of these streets as I was approaching. Let's see if I can see if the camera can zoom up a little bit. I'm doing this full screen, so some of the video might get cut off, but I want to show the police vehicle. It might not be this one. Okay, I think. Okay, see this yellow flashing light? This was a tow truck, and I think it was the next block over. So there was a police vehicle that's going to drive in this direction. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but I could definitely see it. Okay. And so the tow truck followed behind the police vehicle. So they were basically parked up, right? One behind the next. The tow truck behind the police vehicle. The police vehicle drove off, and then the tow truck followed after. Okay. And again, they've been messing with the car because I've had issues where I have to now order I forget what it's called. It's the air intake. I'll tell you in a sec. I can't think right now. Okay, so they got another police vehicle right here. See, turn. Okay, so heavily bombarded with police vehicles as I make my way home. Okay. Speed this up. Now the video sometimes is not in focus because again the windshield was dirty, and I didn't think to clean it, because of what was happening. I was just in that moment where you're kind of in that mindset and that feeling because you know what they're doing and how they're trying to frustrate you and get you angry and upset. And I was a little bit upset. I wasn't angry, but I was a little bit upset of what took place.
Kind of things, right? They'll do these things because this is the type of stuff that they do. This is and I'm revealing all that stuff. And look at the dude with the red shirt here too, with his arms again with the hand signal, or orange shirt, whatever. So this is what I'm talking about here. This is the stuff that these people are doing. The fact that no fucking body is saying anything is really fucking, not only heartbreaking but troubling. Okay, and this is Nazi Germany, and they're going to do that came on as I turn, he flashes yellow light, and they're going to again the police presence again. You'll see up here, coming up here on the next block up, where they station these police officers.
You would think the most obvious place that you would put a police car, right, is behind this always stop sign. Okay, so that police officer would get a better view, and then first of all, you would turn his lights on. His lights wouldn't be flashing because then you're warning people that you're there. But if you want to catch somebody running the stop sign, you wouldn't do this. But again, when they do stuff out of the ordinary like this, this is what I'm talking about.
Basically engage, in this plan with the kid's mother, or it could be, or her friend, or using her friend to influence her, right, into disrespecting me and doing stuff like this, right?
Yep. So, and you see this guy walking across the street. He's right here. He has his hands like this. Okay. So here's your police vehicle right here. All right. Now there's an always stop sign back there. You would think that he would be back there with his lights off, trying to catch people running the red light. Running the stop sign. All right. But no. That's where he's positioned, and his light's flashing. You're not gonna give anybody a ticket that way. You're not gonna catch anybody that way. They're gonna see that light flashing. So this is the kind of thing that they do. So let's see if I remember, because I was kind of heated last night. So Let's see if I remember anything that took place. Okay, so here you go. It's a, yeah, I think, hold up. I think it was coming up here. Okay. The use of the cigarettes with the smoke, right? They're still walking in the street, you know. The sidewalk is right there. That's what the perps do. They start walking in the street.
Look at that. The light is using cigarettes.
Yep. These are all triggering techniques. Okay. And this guy walking, his head down, he bows his head as he sees me driving by. Okay. Now look at this woman. Okay. Again, how they try to cause an accident, right? She gets out of her vehicle, okay, or takes something out of her vehicle, not looking at the oncoming traffic. And look how far she is out in the street. Her door is wide open now. Now, common sense would tell you, okay, I'm parked up, let me go to the other side, where is the sidewalk, to get whatever I have out of the car, right? Common sense would tell you that. But because these people are perps and they're being conditioned and controlled, they will put themselves in danger. And I've said this many a times. They've put themselves in danger for their cause, right? And here's an example, okay? Now, I have to go into the other lane knowing that there's cars on the side of me, okay? And it just so happened that, you know, I just kind of like slightly nudge into the other lane in order for me to not hit her. But this is the stuff that they do. And then you see the red car pulls up. As soon as I approach, watch, she pulls off. It's the same thing with the taxi that I showed you guys. That when I got in the car after leaving Pam, warmed the car for 5 minutes, starts driving, then he pulls out of the double park and drove in front of me. Same thing here with this red car. Okay, so again, using the red theme, right? This is the things that they do. And because they have them so conditioned against me that I'm telling you, there's no one in my family that listens to what I say. If I'm giving them good advice, their children don't even listen to me. Their young children, as young as 16, I would say 18, 17, 16, 12, you know, 9 or what have you, they don't listen to me at all. Because again, they have them conditioned. Now look at this guy, and I never really noticed this last night, but I just noticed something here. Okay, so and again, because I wasn't really focusing on the guy on the bike, okay, or the scooter, whatever he was riding. So as he approached me, you see his hands raised, and he's gonna put his hands over his mouth. See that? Put his hands. So you see, he has a white handkerchief in his hand, and he put his hands over his mouth. Okay, let's go back. Look at him. Hands goes up, white handkerchief, put his hands over his mouth and his nose, covering his nose. Okay, so this is the stuff that they do. And again, usually when I'm being targeted this heavily, I have to wait, hour and a half for parking. But in this instance, the minute that I pull up close to my building, you see these guys walking across the street. Let me get some water. Okay. Alright, so they're gonna be there for a few minutes. Let me fast forward. Okay, now they drive off, okay? Now, you notice you don't hear any music at all, right? No music at all, because I was waiting for the parking, waiting to come out. The only music you hear is in the car. Okay? Now, get into parking space, all of a sudden they start playing the music.
Alright, now see, now they're blasting their music now, right?
They're blasting
you hear
it
that?
up, turning it up.
See, I've been sitting there waiting for the park. You didn't hear no music. They wasn't blasting nothing. And all of a sudden now they're blasting their music.
Stop this for muted for copyright protection. And yep, that's it. So this is what they do, right? And actually, I think I do have a video from this morning. Let me see here as I am leaving. So let me play this video too. I almost forgot about this. I did record this morning. Okay, it's let me I'm gonna fast forward here. The Jewish lady, as soon as she sees me, she walks past doing these hand signals. Now she bows her head. There you go. Now she's hiding her face. Now see this white vehicle that just passed me? There's a lot of white vehicles this morning, more so than ever. So when I start recognizing those things, I know it's conditioning, right? Let's pull up behind this vehicle here because I saw the license plate. All right, and what number is that in the license plate? 32. Again. Okay, let's go to this area right here. Now you'll see a police presence, right? You see I tilt the camera because the police officers were doing hand signal. I started going slowly. So now the light changed, so now he's going to turn. See the police officer here? He's going to turn. The other one is behind him, I believe. Let's see here. And I was actually going to turn here, but I stopped. Actually, no, she was in front. So he turns this way. Before, when I saw them, right, the female officer right here, the short officer right here, she had both her hands in her back pocket with her palm facing outwards, but they were in her back pocket, and she was basically wiggling her thumb, right? So as I got closer, the light changed, and all of a sudden, this officer, the male now, he's going to turn, and then this dude wearing the gray shirt, okay, he walked across because he had keys in his hands, okay. You'll see the moment he started walking. After the light change, he started running, giving him the signal, and he walks across. He has keys in his hands. Okay, then he folds his arm as they walk past, and so does the female officer. Okay. And yeah, I talked about this in my video how the use of keys, right? Earlier in my target, when I was going to family court, and I had to go to criminal court because of a, they used my kid's mother to manipulate me by me that, oh, you can come see your son. Then when I come, she wouldn't be there, and it was going time and time. She would do that all the time. And then I got frustrated, got upset, and one night I went to visit her, and I was knocking on her door, and I was like, hey, you gotta let me see my son. When I see my son, they called the cops on me, right? And then what happened after that was that they had me on all kind of charges, from stalking to battery, assault, some of the most extreme, besides murder, but some of the extreme charges that they can trump up to put on paper. That's what they did. Okay, and I think the reason why they did that because they wanted to put me on a list so they can watch me. Okay, so they use her to manipulate me into that happening. So when I went to criminal court now, as well as family court, all at the same time now, her lawyer comes to me and her lawyer's like, well, if you drop the custody suit, then she'll drop the criminal charges. And I should have stuck to my guns, but listen to my family. They were like, hey, just drop it. Just go for the visitation. And even my lawyer was like, yeah, just go for visitation. So they have everybody in on this except for me, right? So I went for visitation, and she ended up not showing up to court, right? Now, mind you, all the stuff that they put on paper that I did, they never took one picture of her to show any kind of assault. And that's why that night when I got arrested and I went to court in the morning, guess what? The judge let me go on my own reconnaissance because they had no evidence to show that I hit her or I abused her in any way. None whatsoever. But again, this is what they do. This is how they plan. For those TIs out there who have kids with females or with male, with women or men, you have to be careful. They will manipulate these other people into joining into this campaign against you, to put you on some kind of list so they can experiment on you and they can watch you and they can do this to you. Okay? Yeah, you hear the sirens? Because they know I'm speaking the truth. So now they hit me with the police sirens. Yes, that is the truth. Okay? Okay, so let's fast forward this. This I'm heading over by Pam. I see I'm driving by, all these construction workers. Now they should be working, right? They should be working, but they know that I'm coming down the street. So here's one starts walking. Okay. Here's the rest of them. Now, see this guy started scratching his neck. The minute he sees me, he starts scratching his neck. Okay, now this woman here is too far. Okay. So see the construction worker, they started walking across over here, right? We go to the truck. Now the construction site is on this side, okay, but yet they're over here standing waiting for me to get past. Now all of a sudden now they'll start, right? Now this woman here, now there's two women, one pushing a stroller, the other one behind her. Now as I push closer, this one here now, she starts pulling on her hair. Okay? You see that? Actually the one behind pushing the stroller. But the minute she sees me now, as I got closer, she starts pulling on her hair. And she's looking at me, pulling on her hair. See, this is, again, subliminal. When you've been conditioned, okay, and again, this is brainwashing. This is illegal, criminal in every aspect. There's no ifs, ands about it, okay? This is what they've done to me, alright? So it's like, when you hear women talk about being raped without their consent, you know, men having sex with them without their consent, raping them, this is basically what's happening to me every single day, and to every other TI every single day. It is a psychological rape of our mind, okay, that's taking place every single day, okay, with devastating psychological trauma that goes along with that. Again, guy. Now remember the guy on the bike, as I got on my block with the white handkerchief covering his nose and mouth? Here's a repeat of that. Okay? So see this guy here, white handkerchief covering his nose and mouth. Hope you guys are seeing the repetition here, because I'm trying to explain it to you guys. Now again, the red truck, as I approach, is going to pull off. Another guy in the red shirt walking across. Looks like a suitcase or something. Okay, let's go now. Alright. So now, as I approach, you're going to see the hand signal. Hand behind the head like that. Alright. Now, these guys have been parked up for a while, right? So, again, but they know that I'm going there, so now they're waiting. And they start walking across the street as I approach. Okay, so now I'm just waiting for parking. Let's see, I got another video here. Let's see what does this show. Oh, right. So within the space of with the time of 2 minutes since I pulled up in the parking to double park, 5 trucks come rolling by. Okay, so let's
just wanted to get a closer look at them.
Let's go back here. So you hear them? Right now, I had just double parked. Within 2 minutes, 5 trucks. So let me drive up just to get a video of them.
Just wanted to get a closer look at them. I'm sitting here waiting for parking. I knew that was going to show up somehow, some way.
Yep. Like I said, I knew it because it's a repeated pattern that they do. So they attack me in that way, and you know the things that they do, it's all the same. It's a pattern. Okay, there's a pattern to the things that they're doing. Everything, any type of conditioning, there is a pattern in it, involved in it. Okay, repetitions and patterns. Okay, so let's see. So fast forward this. Okay, now so now.
Yep. So how long did you think I would have to wait before they show up?
And before the prep show up too. Walking. Look, not once did he look. Not once did he look at this vehicle that's coming out of the post office, the back of the post office here. Not once. Okay. Alright, so, you know, this is the sort of things that they do. Alright, so psychological manipulation, psychological warfare or manipulation and covert type investigation. Now, if there's an investigation against me or whatever, you know, this is like my 16 year of awareness of what's happening to me. There were also a couple of years when I didn't know, when I was being conditioned. You know, those couple of years prior to me being aware of what was going on, you know, they were doing the same thing to my brother, but he was aware of it. I wasn't aware of it at the time, you know, and he never spoke to me about it because, again, they were running the hush campaign, the be quiet campaign, trying to silence the target. So it wasn't until I became aware of it, then I started discussing it with him. That was when he opened up to me about him going through the exact same thing, right? And so from that moment forth, you know, I think that kind of changed his mindset because he had tried to commit suicide twice before. So that changed his mindset, and I started doing a lot of research on this sort of stuff, right? And so I was able to bring him into the light, and to let him know, look, this is what they're doing, this is what they're trying to have you do, or they're trying to do to you to have these outcomes, and you cannot allow them to have these outcomes and to do these and to have it affect you in a way that, you know, you may want to harm yourself or other people. And so that was a pivotal moment in his awareness and my awareness. And so this is what's happening. So for 17 years, they're trying to claim I'm being investigated, right? I haven't committed any murder. I haven't committed any robbery. I haven't committed any assault on anybody. Nothing like that. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Except for the shit that they fabricated. Okay? So there you go. So again, read up on this stuff. Psychologicalharassment.com. Very informative. Website is up, and it looks like it's going to be up for quite a while, which is a good thing. Lots of resources, lots of information on here on dealing with what's happening, and also on how to help expose what's happening and what's taking place. Okay, so I guess this will be it for the video, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Be strong, stay informed, read up on this sort of programs, read up on the MK Ultra documents. A lot of stuff that's in that documents they try to do also, and you know, remember, these people have a cult mentality. They have a hive mind, right? And so they're part of a destructive cult. Now, whether this cult is created by the church, the government, or created by both, the government involving the church into these sort of psychological coercive program, you know, that's nothing new also, right? Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video.